Good day, everybody, and welcome back to the flight deck. We're here in the CH-47D Chinook helicopter, and this is the start of our Great Lakes tour. We're down here in Mackinac Island. It's a little bit breezy, but looks pretty good. And we're currently on the western edge of Lake Huron. And we're going to be flying to a couple different airports and touching down and just checking in with them. But we're going to be circumnavigating the Great Lakes, which means we're going to be flying along the coastline. So it should be pretty good. We are on the North Europe multiplayer server, so if you want to fly along and join us, you are more than welcome. We're currently at KMCD, and our first airport we are flying to is Alpena, which is KAPN, as you can see in the overhead. And I'll keep that data overhead up there so that you can see it and what is going on. So I think there is somebody here with us. If I swing around here, we have a Chinook helicopter. Flies like a helicopter, looks like a little, or a Cherokee, not a Chinook. We're in the Chinook, but it looks pretty good. Anyway, here's our aircraft. We ferried it up here previously, if you saw the videos, and we are ready to go. So the guys have the doors open. We're going to go up top, inspect everything, pull all the covers off, and we'll get her ready to fly. So inside we go. We're going to come down here to our panel. We'll go into our config, and we're going to remove the pitot covers, and that'll get that ready to go. So for the aircraft today, we are empty. There is nothing in the back. I do have a view inside somewhere. There we go. As you can see, nothing in the back. The seat benches are down. It's just going to be us and the flight engineer and the loadmaster. So we'll pop back up front. Fuel, we're at about 80% fuel, 85% fuel, and we're looking good and ready to go. Doors are open. We have the side door open and the ramp down, and we're pretty much all set and ready to go. So I'm going to come over and pull up my checklists, which are online, and we'll get the aircraft ready to head out and get going. I just got to find the buttons. Button 4. All right. And again, today, if you hear any noise or banging in the background, they're still doing work in the area, so I'll have to watch for that. So, working our way down the panel here, the EAPS fans and doors are all closed. External lights are on dim, anti-collision, top and bottom are coming on. Lights are normal, they're not on night vision. They can go in a infrared mode for night vision goggles. That's okay. Position lights, we'll leave them in the bright position, and we are going to turn our I hate when it does that. Let me just click off of there and get our view back. We're going to turn our lights up here to dim. When we turn the aircraft power on, it gives us a little bit of definition on the panels. So we'll get those. The co-pilot side. Co-pilot searchlight control is set to off. That is good. Compass is free. We are good there. Troop warning is everything there is good. We're going to come down here to the cabin. Heaters are off, wipers are off, and the heating system we're going to leave off for today. Just coming down the electrical side here. Battery is in the opposition, APU is off, and our generators are all off. Main lighting, center console, we'll dial that up to dim. Stick position indicator will come up to dim as well. All our fuel valves are closed. Engine condition levers are in stop. FADEC NR percentage is set to 100. Our rev counters are in PRI. The backup power is off. Overspeed is set to neutral, and the load share is set to torque. Moving on, we're coming up to the floodlights. Both floodlights are off. Dome light is off. Emergency exits switch we will arm, and will turn our lighting here up to dim as well. There we go. Pilot searchlight control is off. We're not going to be using the searchlight on today's flight. We'll set up our instruments and lights to dim. Anti-ice is all off. Cable hoist system is off. Cable cut is guarded. Reset master is off. We're set to tandem all. That's fine. And the emergency switch is guarded. Hydraulic transfers are off. Power steering for the back is off. And the ramp power is on. That's how we could open up the aircraft. Flight control is fine, and the emergency ramp is down and guarded. Right, moving down to the center here. Fire control switches are pushed in. VGI switch is set to normal. Cyclic trim is set to auto, and the AFCS selector is set off. Alright, so that is all good there. Our pre-flight is done. Our pre-start. We can now power up the aircraft. So back up top, the battery switch is going to come on. Caution light test. We'll pop down to here. We'll do our caution light test. That looks good. Everything is up there. We are fine. Pop up top again. APU switch is going to run. And APU switch to start. The APU is fairly noisy. It's located in the tail here. Hey, flight design. Yeah, Mark, if you want to join us. We're doing 3 legs, I think, tonight on this flight, so you're more than welcome to come along. Alright, so the APU is up and running. APU generator switch is coming on. So we now have APU power. Hydraulic power transfer switch are now both on. Parking brake lever, we'll make sure that is set. That is set, and it is right there. Back up top. FADEC backup power, that's this one here, is now turned on. Engine condition levers are both to stop. EPS fans and doors are coming on. Those are cooling for the engine on the outside. And we'll let everyone know we're about to start up. Hey, J-Hog. No, won't be long for Manchester. That's for sure. We'll ring the bell on the back, let them know we are about to power up. Alright, they're going to do an update for Sim 15, which puts in the autopilot stuff. It is not in yet. I was checking earlier today, so hopefully in the next couple days they'll release that. And that'll give us a baro and altitude hold autopilot, as well as a heading hold. But other than that, she's not too bad to fly with all the hydraulic trims and stuff on it. Alright, let's get the aircraft up and ready to go. Left main fuel pump switches are both coming on. Crossfeed is coming on. Engine condition lever number 1 will go to ground. And coming down to the start switches here, you can see the blades starting to rotate. Starting engine number 1. Alright. We have rotation starting. So within 45 seconds, N1 has to get to 50% and oil pressure up to 5%. So oil pressure is already above 5%. N1's coming up. We're on the timer. There we go. There's 50%. Pop outside. We can see everything is up and rotating. Our flight engineer and load master would be outside watching, making sure everything is good on the outside. Good starts on those, so we're going to come up and get engine 2 up and going. So engine 2 is going into ground mode. And we're going to come down here and start engine number 2. Oops, coming back down. We're now watching engine 2. Oil pressure N1. There we go. Pressure's coming up. N1's coming up. Oh, something I always forget to do, and I just realized I forgot to do it there. The crossfeed is supposed to provide fuel to the other side for start, but it doesn't. So you got to actually turn on the main pumps. There we go. So she's coming up. Oil pressure is above 5%, and there's 50% on the N1. Transmission pressure is coming up, and the transmission pressure should be above 7 psi, which it is. There's everything coming into sync. As we all match up, we are good. So popping back up top. Engine 1, Engine 2 condition levers are both going into flight mode. Engine 1 and Engine 2 generators are coming on. AP generator switch is coming off. APU switch will go off. And I find leaving the hydraulic transfers on is best as well. Alright, so everything is looking good up top. I'm going to switch over to the map mode. There's the island we're on. So we're going to come out, we're going to roll the aircraft out to the runway, and we're going to take off to the west and head towards the Mackinac Bridge, then loop down and start following the lake below us. So we're looking good. So we're going to make sure the barrel is set to the local pressure, which it is. The current weather here at Mackinac Island is 3021 for our barrel, which is now set 3021. Winds are 250, 11 to 17. Skies are clear, lots of visibility, all looking good. Alright, with that said, we'll get feet on pedals. We'll come to the doors. We'll get the crew on board. So the slide will be folded up, the ramp will come level, and the bottom part of the door will close. And we are good to go. And of course today we're flying the RCAF Chinook 313, call sign Husky 32. Alright, the engine's up and running and warmed up. We are ready for our pre-taxi checklist. So all fuel pumps are coming on, auxiliary tanks. They are all good. Refueling station will remain off. And we're going to come down for our taxi. So the power steering is going to go on. And we're going to come down here and turn the power steering on the rear wheels. We're going to release track IR. We're on manual on brakes. There's the parking brake released. And to start taxiing, we're going to add power. And give a little bit of a forward push. And there we go. She's well modeled for the control actions. We come out and we do our forward and backs on the controls. You can actually see them moving. If you do it while the aircraft, before you start rotors, when the hydraulics and the power is on, you can see them. You can see it moving, which is pretty cool. So we just got a little bit of power on. If we push forward on the stick, we get a bit more of an angled bite on the rotor discs, which will start pushing us along a little bit. going to roll out here. Keep the speed under control. It is steering from the rear, so she will swing that tail pretty quickly. And you can, if you go too fast in a corner, she will tip over. She does have high engine masks and a big spinning weight on top of her right now. Alright, we're going to get her lined up and ready to go. It's been a bit since I've flown this bird, so might be a little bit slow with a couple things. Alright, a little bit of brakes. Alright, switching over to our takeoff checklist. Let me just lock this in place while I do that. Alright, so the flight control system switch is going to go to both. Cyclic trim switch set to auto. Power steering we're going to lock in place for the wheels. In the back, we don't want them moving around. We'll come up here. We will, let's do it this way. We'll turn the power steering off and guard that as well. Transponder is I think it is located here. It is. STR and actually that's clear that. If we turn it off, right back on again. There we go. 5556 entered in, and we are good to go there. Ramp area is checked, fuel consumption, we're all good. So let's get our charts up so we can see where we're headed. All right, away we go. So we'll start adding some power, start the aircraft rolling. And up we go. So you can get her up to a cruise of about 150 knots or so. We're going to add more power and not push forward. That'll get us climbing. 500 foot per minute climb. And basically using the forward trim, you can trim her for a speed, and then using the collective, you can hold your altitude. You see our speed's picking up as we head out towards the bridge. And once you get her balanced and everything's kind of set up, she's not too bad. You just got to make a change and then wait, because it takes a bit to get her to stable in. They're almost up to 150. We're just using the collective to add power to keep our altitude. So we're going to close the doors in the back. I can go over to map mode. So altitude holding in this thing is a bit of a game. So we'll be watching for anywhere between 1,000 and 2,000 feet. As we chug along, there's the bridge. We flew over the bridge when we ferried the aircraft up here a while ago. A little bit more forward trim, see if I can get her up to about 150. We're going to make a turn to start following the coastline here. So we do have a radar altimeter. We're currently about just over 700 feet above the ground. And like any aircraft, when you start turning, it changes your thrust vectors and everything, and you got to adapt for it. There we are. We're about 960 feet now. A little bit of power. What I do find is you don't have to reduce power where you think you would with an airplane. This will slow down pretty quickly, so you can do it a bit closer into the airports. So it does have trims both forward back for that axis and left and right. If you find it's tending to roll to the left and right, you can do trim adjustments there. It'll be nice when you can do barrel hold and rad alt hold, so you can select 1,000 feet. When you get there, have it hold at that altitude. Be good for longer flights like this. You can see she's leaning a little bit. Try to add a little bit of trim in on that side. See how she does. Oh, there she is. Cruising along the coastline. See that lean again. No, I'm not. I have set up, according to a guy, I watched his video on it, and he did a really good job of explaining how it all works and how to set up the trim for helicopters that have hydraulic and electric trims. This thing has hydraulic. Some of the small civilian ones have electric, and it really works well, and makes my first flight, after watching him do it and then setting up the controls the way he has them, was hugely different. It was an amazing difference. So I've set it up. I'll send you the link to it, Dark. No, it doesn't work. I tried it on the G47, the Bell G40, the Bell 47G, which has no assists, and that's still as difficult as it was. But the other ones, yeah, it makes a vast improvement, including like the default Bell 407 that comes with the sim. much easier to fly. Trimming helps a lot, and then there's a button as well set up, so when I get to slow speed I can hit the button and it zeroes all the trims out automatically, and I tap that a couple times as I come in, and it makes it much easier to control than the hover. Alright, so we're coming up on the town of Sheboygan here in Michigan. And there's the Sheboygan Airport back behind us there. So we go cruising along here. And she's got a good fuel gauge down here, which shows the total amount of fuel on board. It's right here, and does it in a number as well as a needle. So, and she's got good range, I've found. Just, come out a little bit further here on the map. We're maintaining about that 1,000-foot mark and doing about 145 knots, which is not too bad. Of course, you've got all the options if you want to load into the back. You've got a bunch of internal loads that you can put into it. So Humvee, pallets, troops, medevac boats. There's external loads that you can sling underneath for different things, which is pretty cool. I tried it with the UAV, which is a big container, and yeah, don't go too fast or else the cable breaks and you lose it, which is what happened to me. Alright, so you can see our speeds come down a little bit, so we're going to give it a little bit of forward trim. That nose forward, pull back on the collective a little bit. Little bit of a lean there. See if we can trim that out. Now the one thing we're missing here that you really need when flying helicopters is that sense of motion, flying by the seat of your pants thing. Hey, Lemon Wolf! How you doing? Let me just try to get this thing relatively level for a second. There we go. So I got various views set up. Of course, there's out the back, some window views for the engineer, some nice outside views as well, and then there's where the cargo hooks would be. Of course, we can always come down here, bring the door open at the back, and get the view that they would have. I've actually done this, sat here on the ramp like this on a flight. It's pretty cool. See the helicopter moving around. we'll get that closed. Exams, eh? That time of year. We're coming up on 2,000 feet. Again, that's above the ground. We're keeping an eye on that because we're going to have some terrain movement around here. It's good. She's got a clock down here. You can see that she's got a lapse time and everything. You can turn timers on. She's got full radios, transponder, and you can the radio stack is down here. You can set up. There's the radios there. You can tune in the radio there. Civilian radios. I think it's got military radios as well, along with IFF stuff. Back towards the shoreline here. So our first leg was 65 miles. We're going to head towards Rogers City on the coast here. Keeping that speed going. Lemonwolf, I've been flying helicopters for a while. You can find, going back a couple years, I did a whole series of sightseeing flights and helicopters. I love helicopters. I've done a lot of flying in them, mostly as passenger, and I like the Chinook. It's one of my favorite helicopters, so it was nice to get one that sort of works, and it's not too bad to fly. And once I learned how to fly helicopters in the sim, from someone who knows what they're doing, it became much easier to fly the thing. Anyway, we're heading to Rogers City right now, which is on the coast, on the other side of this little prominence here. And we'll continue our trip down the coast. Again, we're currently flying down the west side of Lake Huron. And in this series, we might do a couple stops. We might only do one. It depends on the length of the leg we're doing between airports. But we're going to circle all 5 of the Great Lakes. That is the plan. And checking the gauges, we're looking at our N1 rotations are good, transmission oil pressures are good, engine oil pressures are good, oil temperatures are all good, our transmission oil, and of course our fuel levels. About 34 miles from the airport. So as I mentioned, this is a military helicopter. So if you look up, it doesn't like me doing that. Let me do it this way. If you look up right now, you can see there's a green glow to everything, and at night you can shut everything off, and you would have all the green on, and then you can turn your exterior lights from the whites and reds and everything into greens as well, and you would fly using night vision goggles. And I've been on the aircraft when they've done that. It is scary as hell. I don't know how they do it, since when you wear a night vision goggle you kind of lose your depth perception, but they fly the aircraft like that, so it's pretty cool. It's late afternoon. It's just after 4 p.m. here where I am. In some places in Canada right now, it is evening time, and in others, it is just after lunchtime. So, big place. But yeah, 4 o'clock where I am. All right, so you can see we're still kind of maintaining that 140, 145 ground speed, or airspeed. Not sure what our ground speed is. and I'm just using the collective to maintain some semblance of a level flight. Oh yeah, those guys are training all the time. All the time. But this was my favorite military helicopter to fly in, was the Chinook. For nostalgia, it was the Huey, but just for what the capabilities of the aircraft and everything, it was the Chinook. There's the town of, well, it's Rogers City, Presqu'île County Airport that we're going to be coming up on. We're going to overfly. Rogers City is the name of the city. Then we're going to go over some of the little bit more wild area of the Michigan here, and then we will come down to our first airport. So we're going to be dropping down to 1,000 feet now. Yeah. But you imagine flying at night in the dark, minimal outside lights, with night vision goggles, with no white light on. Pretty intense. And when we did that, I didn't see much because I was sitting in the back until we landed and we all bailed out and got on with our job. All right, there's the airport. We're going to fly directly over top of it. I'm bringing us down to the 1,000-foot mark now. We're at about 150 knots. We got a slow descent going. Looks like we got a big sandworks here. I spent 38 years in the Army. And I had a few opportunities to fly in several different types of helicopters and aircraft. Here's the airport. Looks like we got a big sand pit, gravel place, construction yard, something or other out here. Got our speed going. Like I said, we're going to come down to 1,000 feet, AGL, and kind of wrap around the coastline here before we fly over the town of Alpena, and then head into the airport. The current weather at Alpena, as we're descending down to see what our altitude is pretty clear. Winds are 9 to 16 knots coming in out of the west, so we're going to fly over the town and then come into the airport into the wind. And 3018 is the barrow. All right, there's 800 feet. Speed increasing there as I was looking away. Yeah, I did a few things in the Army. Alright, so there's 1,000 feet. Let her settle herself in with the trim. And we want to dial in 3018 for the local pressure. There we go. 3018 is now set. So the airport runs kind of north to south, or the runway runs kind of north to south at our destination airport here for the first part of our flight today. So So we will, like as I mentioned, we're going to come in from the west, and there is a military ramp that we're going to come and land on. Nice little set of islands here. We'll do a little low level. I want to go to a maximum of 1,000 feet. Keep her between 500 and 1,000 here. Get some nice views as we go across the ground. It's 1,100 feet. There we go. Under 1,000 now. We'll try to maintain in the upper end of that 500 to 1,000 foot range. Pretty remote out here. Some power lines we're going to fly over. Some isolated little communities and residences, but not much else. Got a nice little lake coming up. While I'm away this summer, I do have a video coming out where I take this thing through the Mach loop. So look for that appearing sometime while I'm away on one of my travels this summer. I don't know, I was chatting with him in Discord earlier today. I'm not sure where he is right now. Anyway, we can see on the map at the top that bay that's coming in. That's where the town of Alpena is located. So we're getting close. We're only 14 miles away, apparently. We got a ground speed of 151. So we're not doing too bad. And we'll get some nice foliage and scenery down here again with Rex AccuSeasons providing a lot of the seasonal foliage and that. We should get some nice trees and bushes and stuff as we fly around the lakes. I think I can see the airport there. We're going to swing out over the city and then come in for a landing. Maps up and looking good. There we go. Well, it looks like they do have an east-west runway, but yeah, we're gonna head to the. We're gonna come in, overhead the field, and we'll swing around and land on the military ramp. That's on the west side. All right. Looks like we. Ballooned up there. Yes, and I'm going to Flight Sim Expo. I will be there. In a few days I'm going to put a thing up on the Discord asking for questions. I've got a few I'm going to try to get answered when I'm there from the Microsoft guys. So if you have any or think of any questions you want to ask, let me know and I will be there to ask, and I'll put out a video when I get back with my answers for what the answers I got. Airport's at the bottom of the lake there. We'll go loop to town. Let's get her back down to 500 feet. It's the 24-25 weekend of June, I think. It's thundering over this little community here. Getting ready to come in. We can let the door guys in the back get ready. We can open up so they can look out as we come in. There we go, 500 feet coming up. I do love the sound of the blades. If I do a hard push or hard pull, get that nice thump going. Not as nice as in the Huey, but it's there. Take you 15 hours to fly to Vegas? Yeah. Hey, I had the time. I was free. I figured, why not? I'll head down and see what all the fuss is about. Alright, here's the town of Alpena, located on Lake Huron. As mentioned, we're going to get it down to about 500 feet, and we'll give a nice morale flyover here of the town. There's the view from the flight engineer and the load master out the back. Nice little town. Alright, let's head to the airport. I don't know. They're added in by AccuSeasons. There's some different shades and stuff. It's just to show it's springtime and everything's in bloom. Makes it look nice. I was calling them magnolias when we were flying in Georgia on the other series. Ooh, gotta watch that tower there. It is on the map, and it is taller than where we are now. We're at 400 feet. Alright, so we're going to start slowing down now. We're only 3 miles away. Alright, so we're going to start trimming back, and then adjusting our collective to make sure we're not climbing too high. As we do that, and our speed comes down. And what I tend to find is once you get below 100, she starts to slow down quickly, and you can come to a stop in the air before you really want to. A bit of a wind push here. So we're back to about 120. Try not to get too high. There's 600 feet coming in. Yeah, we're going to fly overhead, turn around, and we'll come back in to land. There's 90 knots. There's where we start pushing forward. Trying to control it. The end we're going to come down and land on. Let's really stop inputting on the rudder there. Not required. Alright, let's get the speed back. Coming into a turn. You see that speed dropping. Coming down 600 feet. Watch that altitude. Almost got her into a hover here. Not quite what I want to be doing. Again, it's been a while since I've done this, and I am no great helicopter pilot. Just zeroed out my trims. Just using pressure on the sticks now. You do the farm sim stuff? I've dabbled in that. It's pretty cool. Coming over the parking lot. Watching our speed, our altitude. Not going to land on the cars. And you can imagine coming in with a load slung under the helicopter and trying to drop the load off. This is kind of how you're flying. 60 feet. Just watching the forward momentum. 20 feet. Crew guys are calling out obstructions and where we are from the back. Start bringing her down. Try to arrest some of that forward motion. We're into the ground effect. We are down. Alright, parking brake is on. And we are here. Welcome to Alpena. So we're going to set up for the next leg. And we are going from Alpena our origin, and our next destination is Bay City. We are going to C3M. Try this again. Add to route as our origin. Go. That is now in there, and no, it's a small little municipal field. Technically it would be K3CM, but they dropped the K because it's not like a regular field. It could be a privately owned field, something like that. It's Clements Municipal in Bay City, Michigan. Multiple runways. Looks like they have water landing as well for float planes. But yeah, 3CM is the designator for it. So let's go 3CM. Yeah, see the overlay software wants it as K. It's now set. Alright, so we are ready to head out from there. Take a quick look around. We are good. We've made our visit and we are good to go. So we'll pop back in. Quick check on the fuel. We've still got 4,000. What does it say? 4,532 pounds of fuel. We started with 5,400, so we are looking good there. So we look down at the panels here. There's our transponder and all that. Our nav radios are up here. We have ADF receiver there. This is our stuff that's been removed, some other military stuff, IFF stuff that goes in there, TACAN that you can tune in, and then not sure what that does, but if we scroll, if we come down here, this is our radio. So if we went 122.8, there's Honeycomb. And there's that. Anyway, we're ready to head out and continue our flight. Alright, so let's get the parking brakes off. Manual brakes are on. Crew's giving us the all clear. And we are good to go. We're going to do a takeoff from this position. So we're bringing up the power. Trims are neutralized. There we go. Starting the lift. And to head out, we can do a complete, more or less stationary lift. And then once we start going up, if we start pitching forward with the trims, we'll start building up airspeed. Head out. Here we go. We will circle around. It takes a lot of pedal authority to get those rotors synced around to do the turn. Overfly for the people. And then off we go. This little tower pass. Down to Bay City. So the airport I learned to fly at, my home airport as it were, is let me get myself reset here. The Brampton Airport, which is it has the C to start it like all Canadian airports do, but it's lettered, so it's CNC3 instead of like CYYZ or whatever. And usually when you get those NC3s or NR4s, or the couple we'll be going to on this flight, they're usually smaller, like municipal airports or something, or in our case it's a privately owned airport. Actually, it's the largest private airport in Canada. Alright, you can see we're leaning again, so I'm going to adjust this level and then add in some right trim. Hi Molly. Molly stuck her head up, poking me in the leg. No, we were just outside. You'll get dinner when I'm done. a little bit more of the trim there. And then you got to keep an eye on it, see how it does. It takes, 10-15 seconds for any trim inputs to really show up here. The Covenant, that's the one with DiCaprio, right? With the is it the bear? Is it that one? No, I haven't seen that one. It's okay. You can lie down, Molly. I'll be done soon. So Molly had her birthday yesterday. She was 1 year old yesterday. Had a nice day at the spa. This morning we headed down to the local, big dog park near us, and we went for a romp through the trails and the woods and the sand pit. Alright, we're gonna head directly to the Bay City. There we are. Molly's doing great. She got a little bit matted. She's got a habit of, she likes to go exploring, and she'll go into the trees and the woods and right around, and she got tree sap in her hair and everything, and it was pretty matted, so she's been shaved down pretty far. She's not as curly as she used to be. But we are coming into summer here with hotter temperatures and everything coming up, so it'll be good for her for that way. So when she's outside running around like crazy, she doesn't overheat too badly. But she's doing really good. She's a wonderful dog. She keeps looking at me when I mention her name. She's coming up on her dinner time soon. Well, when we're done the stream for today. Still doing that left lean, so I'm going to add a little bit more right trim. I blame it on the Loadmaster not having the aircraft nicely balanced out. See us bouncing up and down. That's the thing with helicopters, they do tend to move up and down very easily in the winds. 6 years old, yeah. Well, Molly's a mini golden doodle. She's 23 pounds. Last time she was weighed, about a month ago. She's pretty much full size. Just got to get a little bit of more of the puppy fat off her, but she's settling in. But, she's a great dog. We're going to fly past the lake here. Keep kind of heading off in this direction. This has us tracking down towards KBAX. So we're flying this series in whatever weather and conditions we get, and being we're moving into the summertime, that we're flying out here in mid-afternoon. We could be seeing some rains and some storms and stuff over the next little while, as that is typically the time we get the heat-driven thunderstorms and stuff in the summer rolling in. And out here, this area in particular, Michigan, is tornado prone. I've seen a few tornadoes down in this area when I've been here. Do a quick pop out. There we are. Oh, no, thanks for dropping by, Lemon Wolf. Appreciate it. You take care. We'll see you again soon. Yeah, we have veered off course as I was playing with other camera views. I've got the heading bug set up on the HSI just as an indicator. What I can do is if I do this, is there a beacon or something down here we can tune into? There is, 112.9. So if we come down to here and go 1129, I believe that's the only one. Yeah, ADF is on the other side. Should be able to get something in help lead us to where we want to go. And see, we're drifting again. Now we're drifting the other way, so we'll readjust our trim. Saginaw VOR is what I've dialed in. Should be flying at about a 200. Let's dial that in. Back on track here. We're going to be crossing a little bit of a bay. So flying into this airport, again the winds are going to be out of the west, and we're just going to go land at the ramp. Try to land on runway 23. That is the runway that's probably the most into the wind. Not sure what type of VOR that is. It's a high frequency or low frequency or low power. Let me do a quick check. That's the airport. Keeps bringing up the airport, which is not what I'm trying to dial in here. It is a low, so we're going to be a little bit closer before it comes in. altitude's going up again. And we're direct lining it now to the next airport. 64 miles to go. So you can hear this thing's pretty noisy. Those turbines running and the transmissions, you can hear them just whirring away there. So it is pretty noisy to ride in the back of this thing for any length of time. Down to about 2,000 feet. Again, it's fine adjustments and then wait and see what happens. And with all helicopters, you make one adjustment and everything else shifts around as well, and you got to start adjusting that. You get turbulence there and it throws everything off. So yeah, the autopilot stuff, when they get it, will be a nice addition. Not the fastest means of travel, but it is a pretty cool one. They're coming over the river here. Soon be getting the sun setting. Still trying to track inbound on the radial there. Still not picking it up. I've seen somebody use the TACAN to track in on that, so I know that has worked in the past, although I'm not 100% sure on how it does work. Altitude loss there. Quickly see if we get a weather at our destination. Winds are 6 knots, 250, 25 degrees clear, and 3019er. So come down here, and 3019 is in and set. Sorry, I was just looking at what it said there. VOR, command, TACAN. Yeah, we're on VOR mode. That's what we want. .48 miles out, so it should come in soon. I think these low VORs are usually within 35, 40 miles, but we are pretty low, and they are line of sight. So if you work out the math about where we are and the angles and the horizon and all that stuff, we're probably going to have to be in a bit closer than that to pick it up. Fuel's looking good, 3,700. We're over farm country here. There's the bay coming in. Our destination's on the other side of that bay. Feet. It doesn't take much on the controls to get a significant change. Same as when you're flying a tailwheel airplane, the aircraft is never stopped until it's actually stopped and the brakes are on. You're always flying it. Same with this small airplane, you can trim it all out and then just kind of let it do its thing, and it does its thing. But helicopters, the slightest little twitch and breeze and whatever, she'll head off and start doing its own thing. And once she's out of balance, it doesn't self-center and self-correct like a aircraft does, airplane. These things will just keep getting worse and worse out of balance. Under 40 miles out. Lovely as we come down again the west side of Lake Huron. We'll be able to do better with other views once we can get the autopilot working, but I look away for 5 seconds and we're heading to the ground. Alright, the VOR is in. So if we come down here and dial in the course, now that is to the VOR. That's not what we want. The VOR is not at the airport we're heading to. It's actually quite offset, but it is giving us a little bit of an indicator of where we are and where we want to go. So we're actually going to move the heading bug over and follow the heading bug as best we can. But there we go, the VOR works. Again, we're not going to be flying to the VOR, as that is at the wrong location, the wrong airfield actually. So we're going to follow this road down to the lake, and then we're kind of going to fly straight across. We're going to be flying right over Bay City itself as we come in. Not sure how far down the sun has gotten out here. Start to see a little bit of that golden tinge in the sky over there. All right, 30 miles to go. And there we go, coming out over the water now. Coming down to about 1,500 feet. Looking very nice. See the sunlight reflecting on the in the water there. try to keep our altitude down around that 1,500 foot mark. Again, that is 1,500 AGL or AWL here above water level. I will put her down in KBAX here, and then or not or Bay City, and then we'll be flying on to the next destination, which should be shorter. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, so this is us in the Bay City. We're then going into KBAX. On Monday, we're going to be heading into Canada as we go, so that'll be exciting. So there again, looked away for a minute, and the helicopter decided it wanted to do its own thing. So we're turning back out towards Bay City. Go. So Bay City is located around that river. You can see coming off the south end there of the little bay. That's where we're headed, and then the airport is on the other side of the city. So we'll fly in and descend down over the city. The entry point there ahead, little island showing outside. Now, not sure why we're decided to climb like we have. Put an end to that. Get ourselves down to about 1,500 feet or so as we come in across the town. Miles out. Like I said, we're going to try to see if we can land her on runway 23. We'll see how we do. fly to the east of the chimneys here. A little bit of high-level cloud coming in. 11 miles out. So we want to touch down doing about 20 knots. And we'll come to a stop, and then we can put on our power steering and steer off the runway. There's 1,700 feet as we're coming in, a little island there. Again, we're going to come to the left of these stacks. Then we'll come down, and then at the bend in the river is when we're going to make our turn towards the runway. Getting some of the doors open in the back. Thousand feet. Start slowing her down. There's the bend, nice little marina there. I think that's the airfield over here. So we're going to follow this line, and we should be able to see the runway. As we come down a bit. Oh, there it is. It's a little bit further along. Start bringing the power back, bringing the speed back. Start us descending downwards. Slow down too quickly. Let's be doing a runway landing. Feet. Feet. We're high if we were an airplane, but our speed's going to keep coming back. Down to about 75 knots. As we bring the nose up and decrease speed, we got to adjust our power for our rate of descent. We're down to 40. Bit of a crab going here because of that wind. Keep the speed up. Above 20 as we come in. Watching our altitude. It's 150 feet. Slowing too much. The wheels are locked in position, so we're going to have to bear that in mind. But they're not going to swivel when we touch down. Feet. Keep that forward momentum going as we come in. You can do this when you're heavy. And the ground effect. Go. We are down. So while we were doing this, we would have had Roger come up, turn the power steering on, turn that on, and we can now steer off here at the taxiway. We don't want to be taking off. There we go. So we'll turn to the left here and stop on the taxiway. We'll get set up for the last leg of today's set of flights. All right. So let's get ourselves stopped. Parking brake on. Let me lock that in place. So coming down to our fuel, we're at 3,000 pounds of fuel. We are fine there, and we will get the next flights in. So we are going to be flying from there, and we are heading to our last destination, KBAX. KBAX. That is our destination, and an origin is there. All right, just 42 miles on this one. We will go back, close that, dial this in. Let me bring up our route here, or K3 CM, and we are going to KBAX. Update on that. All right. Let's get the brakes released. A little bit of power. Get down to the end, swing out onto the runway, and we will take off. We've got a tailwind at the moment. So we want to head off at roughly a 42-degree heading. Come down here and kind of get that in to about there. Again, taking it easy. This is a top-heavy aircraft with the big towers there. They can catch the wind easily. So keep it nice and slow. All right. We're lined up. We're going to turn off the power steering pump, and we will lock the wheels in the back. There we go, wheels are locked, and we are good. So it's reset, and let's get out of here. Brakes released. Off we go. Turn out here to the right. I'll fly back over the town. There we go. Got ourselves up nicely, climbing out, and we are on course. So we're heading out to what's called KBAX. That is our destination. You guys close the doors in the back. Get ourselves repositioned here a little bit. Something like that. All right. Molly's come by again to say hi. And why are you ignoring me? Oh, somebody just flew by. We got a Spitfire. I can only be one person. Good evening, Wayne. I'm assuming it's Wayne. At this time of night, it should be Wayne. Let's see if we get some forward speed going here. We'll hold it about 1,500 feet or so. Yeah, that's Wayne. How's everything with you, sir? Yeah, you're gonna have to stall to keep up with me. Alright, we're gonna turn this way. We're gonna clip the bottom of the little inlet here. And then that's going to take us up towards where we want to go. When we get there, the airport is pretty good. It's got a tiny apron. It's got a couple decent runways. We're just going to go straight in for landing on the apron when we get there. Hi, Molly. Yes, I can feel you down there. You're just going to have to wait. Okay? Go lie down. I'll take you downstairs and then we'll give you dinner. Alright. So we don't want to get too high. We don't want to get going faster though. Let's get that nose forward. Speed up. So we're 34 miles away now. See our shadow down there, which is pretty cool. Speed's kind of getting up to where we want it. Little face sitting on my leg looking at me. Yeah, we're almost done, Molly. We're almost done. That's the thing. She spends all day with me and it's still not enough for her. Doing good. We'll keep the try to keep the altitude down, try to keep that speed up. I'm adding as much forward trim as I can. Keep that speed up. It's a beautiful evening for flying out here in the state of Michigan. Yeah, I know, Molly. Go lie down. I think she's hungry. Had a great day at the park today. Loads of fun. Probably built up a bit of an appetite. 27 miles to go. Hanging in about that 2,000 foot mark. Not sure where Wayne is. So we're coming up the other side of this bay here on Lake Huron, and this is our final destination for today. Fourth airport, third leg. Get some good practice in with the Chinook. Hopefully this weekend they release the update that'll give us the altitude holds and heading hold, and that will allow us to take some more looks around the helicopter as it's flying, see different things. I think for each leg I'm going to put some cargo in it, so on the next live stream on Monday, I think I hear an engine. On the next live stream on Monday we'll have cargo in the back, and we'll change that up to for internal cargo. I'm not going to do these with sling loads because we'd have to fly too slowly. Alright, so there he is. I knew I heard him there somewhere. I hear they Wayne, did you hear the Battle of Britain Memorial flight lost a Spitfire? And unfortunately the pilot as well, a couple days ago. Not good. So again, there's two runways, 5,000 foot and I think a 4,000 foot, 5 and a 3.5, and then there's on the north side of the airport there's a small apron, and that's where we are going to go land. Looks like there's a VOR there as well. Let's see if I can get the frequency for it. Nope, it's not giving me frequencies for that VOR. The airport is right on the south side of the town of KBAX, and it's kind of on the other side of this wind farm here. The wind farm covers this whole section here. Alright, we're going to start heading down towards 2,000 feet. We're staying clear of the turbines down there. Ollie's laid down at my feet waiting for me to finish. Won't be long. We're only 16 miles out. The airport will be slightly off to our about 11 o'clock. Below the town. We're at farm country here. There's the turbines. Hearing that Spitfire engine again. It's around here somewhere. There he goes. Start heading down now. We're kind of clearing the wind towers there. There's the town of KBAX coming into view. Alright, we're down to about 750 feet. Some of the towers we gotta watch out for. Guys to open up in the back. Oh, there goes Wayne. Low and slow. We're going to come in south of the airport, swing around to the east, and then come in and land on that north apron. There's the airport. Start slowing up. Down to 100. About 500 feet coming on the south side of the runway there. my trims got right out of whack there. Something's gone wrong. My trims are not resetting and my controls are kind of out of whack a little bit. See if I can get this to fix itself. Nope. Not sure what's happened there. My trims have played up a bit. Alright, so we've got an issue here. So I'm going to see, like I'm full stick forward at the moment. And oop, there she goes. She's just corrected herself. That was interesting. Not 100% sure what happened there. Anyway, let's get the speed back. There's where we're headed. Right down over here slowly, not on top of the building. So not on top of the building. Ground effect, 17 feet. A little bit of back pressure to hold it from rolling forward. As we do land slightly nose up. And there we are. Wow, that was interesting. After we had that little kerfuffle there. Alright, let's get the guys out. We can do our shutdown. There we are. Got the, should close, retract that thing. I always forget about the tongue, as it's called. Not sure where Wayne is, but we are down, and there comes the stairs. So let's get this thing shut down. We'll get over to our normal procedures. After landing, flight controls are neutralized. Cyclic trip to the ground, that's fine. After landing, aircraft should shut down. So flight controls are neutralized, brakes are set. Let's pop up top. Heater switches are set off. Down to here, our AFCS switches are off. We'll Pop back up. APU, not sure why I'm on that far off. APU is starting. And while we're doing this, the turbines are normalizing their temperatures and pressures. So it is now in run. APU generators are on. Engine 1 and 2 generator switches are now off. Hydraulic transfer switches are fine. Engine condition levers will both go to ground. Crossfeed will close, and we're good to stop engines. So all fuel pumps will come off. That's going to shut down the engines. Rotors are going to spin for a while. Alright, so that's done. Condition levers will go to stop on both sides. Fans and doors will come off. FADEC backup power switch is off. APU generator. We're going to shut everything off, so the generator switch will come off. APU will shut down. And we can turn off the batteries. And she's going to rotate for a while as she slows down and everything shuts down. So thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed. It's a new aircraft. You bet your spit. All right, Wayne. Well, thanks for coming along and flying. So here we are in Bad Axe Monday. We'll continue on with the next leg of our trip around the Great Lakes. Hope to see you then. Thanks for coming along. And again, if you want to join in and you want to join us, you can get the information on the Discord. Links in the description. And we're on the North Europe multiplayer server, so no VATSIM, no ATC, just us having a fun time flying along. So hope you'll join us. See you on the next one. Bye for now.